Hey everyone, and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing another episode of Night at the Improv. Night at the Improv is where you drive my nail design. So leave a comment below, any word that you can think of, and I will add it to my spinner, and if selected, I'll use it in my next week's design. So let's spin the wheel and see what tonight's word will be. Thank you Tiffany TJOB414 for providing tonight's word, Smurfs. So while I'm filing on the nails that I'll be working with tonight, I wanted to say to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for tuning in. And for my new viewers, please consider subscribing, share, hit that like button, leave a comment below, and click on that notification bell for future videos. Night at the Improv will show every Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. I also wanted to remind everyone for my open 500 subscriber giveaway, please replay the live video and read the description box for all the rules and details. So let's spin the wheel and see how many colors in our background we're going to be using for tonight. So tonight we're going to be using one color, which is perfect because I'm going to pick the perfect shade of blue as the skin color for the Smurfs design that I'm going to be doing tonight. I figured that I'd do this Born Pretty stamping polish on all three nails, but I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to put on them. I know for sure I want one to be Papa Smurf. I want the second one to be Smurfette. And I don't know if I want to make the third one another iconic Smurf character or if I'm going to be doing Gargamel. Just in case you are not sure of what Smurfs are, I grew up watching cartoons in the 80s, and Smurfs was like a Saturday morning cartoon, I think, that had these little, it's fictional, and these little characters were blue with white hats, white pants. I mean, they all had their own outfits, so not everybody had the white hat and white pants, but then the villain for the show was Gargamel, who was always trying to capture them and cook them or whatever he does with them. So this is definitely an iconic request to do these Smurfs, so I'm actually nervous about my line drawing today, but of course, as you know, I always push myself in my when I'm uncomfortable with things, and I think I'll be able to pull it through. I just thought that maybe I would be screwing this up more than once, but at most there are little moments, there are probably actually a couple moments in this design where I had to wipe it out entirely. There are two small sections too. I think I've added them on here, but it's on time lapse, so if you can catch it. But I think there are only two or three moments where I didn't like how something looked, so I had to nail cleanse that and then just redraw. But otherwise, I was so super psyched that I was able to do this, and it didn't take super forever, and it took, mostly one take. Oh, and that was Dexter, if you saw him. I don't really notice when he pops in sometimes until I see the edit, like when I edit the video, and I'm like, oh, he was there? I don't remember that. But anyway, so in this first nail, I am trying to draw Papa Smurf. you have to have Papa Smurf representing on just 3 nails. I mean, if I can do all the characters, that would have been super crazy, but a great thing to do. But I'm limited to 3, so I am, and right there I did just nail cleanse his mouth. But I think because I realized that just an art nail tip, if you're trying to do any kind of line work, especially replicating a cartoon, I feel like if you're a beginner, we'll start with a pencil. If you can buff the surface, start with the pencil. But if not, I would use the outline first, and I'll tell you reasons why. Outlining first obviously not only blocks out your image so you can, you know, fix it here and there to make it look exactly how you want it to look, but also it's like the sugar cookie effect. If you do the line first and then you fill in the color like I'm doing now, it kind of adds a dimensional factor to the image. The line work is going to be at a lower level than when you add the color. So I think that maybe when these designs are done, you'll kind of understand what I'm talking about, but I actually like that effect. And I would say that's like the beginner way of drawing anything on your nail. As you get a little more advanced, you can for sure just box out your image with the color and then put the line over it, because if you box out the image, I say advanced because when you box out the image, you kind of have to know where the silhouette is using the color. And I think, at least for me, it's harder to do it with the color first than it is to do it with the outline first. But if you do it the advanced way, your image will be nice and flat and it won't be so bumpy like mine is. But again, I love the dimensional factor to it. And I hope that I'll be able to convey that in my final results image. You'll be able to see how the light hits it. There's going to be some dips towards the outlines or the black lines, and it's going to give it a little bit more character, a little bit more 3D look to it. So I'm just going to finish up this nail, give it its last cure, and then we're going to spin the wheel to find out what decorations we have to use, because I don't want to jump too far ahead. You never know what I'm going to get, and that might mess up my whole design. So after spinning the wheel, we have powders, which kind of threw me off, but since these are supposed to be kind of mystical, fictional characters, I thought it'd be nice to just add some pearlized powder to their hair. Originally I maybe wanted to put it on their face to give it some sort of textural skin quality. But I'll be honest, I did apply the powder onto the blue areas first, and I didn't like it. It made the blue shade a lot lighter than I wanted it to be. So now I'm just using this pearlized Born Pretty powder, and I'm only going to put it on Papa Smurf's beard. Now, as I do the other nails, I'm just going to find moments where I can put on some powders in order to fill this requirement. If you're watching this far, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate you stopping by today. Go ahead and click that like button. It really helps my channel out, and I greatly appreciate all of your support. Okay guys, so the rest of these nails are going to pretty much be redundant with the process as I do Smurfette, and then I'm not too sure yet if I'm doing Gargamel or another Smurf character. But I'm going to let this time lapse, throw in some music so you can enjoy and watch the madness that is Josieisms. And I'll pop in every now and then if I need to just go over what I need to say. Alright. So for Smurfette's powder, I could have done her dress and made it pearlized, but I thought it would be nice to jazz up her hair. She is the only female Smurf in this field of Smurfs, so I want to give her a little extra something special. I'm going to be using this Unicorn Born Pretty powder, and I'm just going to lightly brush this all over her yellow hair, and I definitely feel like it jazzed it up a lot. That yellow was the only gel yellow that I had, and I didn't really like it per se. It did match actually in the image that I saw on the internet that I was using to help me, but I like my yellows, and I did not like this shade for her. So I'm really glad that I used this powder, because as you can see now, it's just giving her some pizzazz and some magic up in there. So I'm really happy I did that. So the last touch will be putting a dab of red for her tongue, and we'll be done with this nail. Now I'm going to spin the wheel again because I'm not too sure. I have 2 more decorations that I'm going to have to put, and I don't want to get ahead again and possibly ruin my design that I have in mind. So after spinning, I have rhinestones, which I thought was a great idea until I did look at Smurfette's picture. I thought maybe she had a flower in her hair, but that wasn't the right character. I actually forgot the name of that character. but I'm going to utilize rhinestones on all three. So I decided, you know, why don't we mix it up, because not everybody likes the good guy. So I'm going to include the villain and do Gargamel. And his image is so much harder than the Smurfs, I think, but just crossed the fingers and just started to kind of draw it. My safety blanket is that these are gels, so if I screw up, I can always wipe it off. I normally, as you know from my other videos, that I normally draw with stamping polishes, and if I were to do that and mess up, I would have to wipe out the whole thing. So I'm really glad I'm using gel right now. So if you're tuned in this far in the video, thank you so much, guys, for joining me tonight at Night at the Improv. I really appreciate that. Go ahead and click that like button. It'll help my channel out so much. And again, I greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate all of your support. So again, you guys, I'm just going to leave you here and time-lapse this, and when I get around to doing the rhinestones, I'll pop in again and explain what I'm doing. So enjoy the video. So I pretty much have these 3 images done, you guys. I can't believe that, I mean, in my world, it wasn't really long doing this. Maybe it was a couple of hours. So I'm going to do the rhinestones. I'm putting on the, this is the Beetles top coat. It's pretty thick. I think if you don't want to go as far as using rhinestone glue, and this goes for like small pieces of rhinestone, not the huge pieces where it could come off, I believe you don't really need to use any rhinestone glue. You can just use a really nice thick top coat that the rhinestone can settle in and get a little lip of top coat around its edges, and that pretty much holds well in itself. So I'm just putting a nice healthy layer of this, putting a cap on it, and I'm going to use these black rhinestones. I think it'd be great because I was like, oh, how brilliant. How are you going to put rhinestones on Gargamel? So I am putting in 2 black ones as his pupils. And the funny thing is, when it hits the light a certain way, you get that like white glow that you get with pupils. And it looks like it was cartoon drawn in, if you know what I mean. Click that like button. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. But I thought that was super clever on my part, and it was a happy accident. So we're going to continue the process with Papa Smurf. Now, I didn't want to do the pupils again because, 1, I thought that was redundant. 2, his pupils or not pupils, I guess it would be pupils. They don't have irises. So his pupils are different. It's more oval shape than round shape, and they were kind of tiny. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put the rhinestones. So I figured, all right, let's just make this foo-fooey. I mean, it's not a real thing that he does, but I'm going to use some red rhinestones and put a band of it on his hat that he's wearing. It makes him a little dainty, but he is the master Smurf, so I might as well adorn his hat with a crown of red rhinestones. So last but not least, again, I thought that Smurfette had a rose in her, or a flower in her hair, and I would just make it out of rhinestones, and I was completely wrong. I mistook her for another character that has the flower in his hair. So I figured, you know what, let's just give Smurfette a necklace. It might be like a cheesy way to get out of this rhinestone requirement, but just wait and see. I think it added dimension and character to Smurfette. So I think that Smurfette's necklace came out so super cute. Before I get super ahead of myself, I figure at this point, whatever decoration I get next, I'll just somehow work it in. But let's spin the wheel for our third and final decoration. You guys, how funny was that? We ended up getting line work as the third decoration, and I'm just gonna call that a day because I definitely have line work in all three of these nails. Look at these guys. They are so super cute. I just cannot believe what comes out of my hands every week, every time I post these videos. Look at Smurfette. Look at her hair. So lustrous. It's so pretty. And you can kind of see that dimensional factor I'm talking about with doing the outline first and then kind of, sugar cookie filling in with color. Here is Papa Smurf. Look at him in his lovely king crown, being the head Smurf. He came out super amazing with his pearlized beard. It does add the texture to it. It's so amazing. And then last but not least, I'm so glad that I chose Gargamel. It's a little bit of everything, and I'm shocked that he came out the way that he did because he is so perfect. And I love the rhinestones in his eyes. It does look like pupils. So thank you so much, Tiffany TJOB414, for giving our word for tonight's Smurfs. Guys, go ahead and leave your word in the comment below and I'll add it to my spinner, and maybe next week your word will be chosen to do a nail design. So tune in again next week, night at the Improv, Saturday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And join me again this weekend. I'm doing short and sweet every other week. You guys, don't forget to check out my 500 subscriber giveaway. It's open right now. So far I have one entry. Look at that video for the rules in the description box and in the video. Thanks. Bye.